camera, Clay. Come on now, Clay. We don't, I mean, Steph's there, but Steph's got it now. There we go, Clay. Look, what are you doing?
He's having a good time.
Oh, look, Steve-O.
Look at Steve. Oh.
Coaches were there, too.
I love Steve. I love Steve.
Team ever cancel a full practice because, like, just understood the entire team was out the night before when you were playing?
Do we have enough time? Quick story. Golden State, we're in Miami on a back-to-back. We just played Orlando. We get there 1 o'clock. All go out. End up showing up to practice 9:30. Everybody's inebriated. Don Nelson tell everybody get back on the bus. We come out and win by 30. Golden State team was just different.
Yeah, Don Nelson was about it.
My guy.
He was like, medicate yourself before the game. Everything.
I'm medicated too.
Long as you can see the real. And if you see 3 of them, shoot to the one in the middle.
That's right.
Oh, get that.
That's right.
Oh, I know about
Shout out Don Nelson. That's my guy.
I'm sure he loves that.
That's my guy.
Oh, yeah.
That's my guy.
Medicate yourself. Get right.
Don Nelson was about it. That's my new
Don't
favorite
have to worry about
expression.
him and getting no cataract. All right. Got hawk's vision.
Exactly. Locked in.
So the Cavs were in need of a bounce-back game after 2 losses in Los Angeles. Thankfully, they had the Suns on their schedule last night. LeBron James scored 28 points, part of his 14th triple-double of the season, the most he's had in a single season. What say you, LeBron?
Just say I'm like fine wine. I get better with age. That's what it says. More possession in my ass.
He's also been
What
saying.
are you talking about? What are you talking about? So I'm getting better with age. That's what it's saying.
He's been saying.
I know that.
Who's the reporter that was like, oh, no, technically it's because he had more possessions. I think that's why. I mean, Stephen, how do you think it's possible LeBron has been able to maintain such this incredible skill this long into his career?
Well, it's a couple things. You have to give him his props, first of all. You know, being able to take care of your body from coming in the NBA, knowing he had so much on his shoulder, knowing that so much was expected. For him to be able to take care of himself and dedicate his life to the game like he has, you have to salute him for that. Another thing, like you said, God's definitely blessed him. You know, he has an unbelievable body, unbelievable skill set, you know, and that's definitely special. But the fact that he's in the game at the right time, too.
What does that mean?
He's in the game.
The era.
The game is not as physical as it used to be.
The game is soft.
The game is totally different now. He's not getting slammed down every drive. You know, it's not physical, so he's not enduring the pain that Jordan, Dominique Wilkins, and those guys were taking going to try to attack the rim. He's not. But like I say, but it's his time. You know, and I just give him his props. He was born to be LeBron James. He was born to be the K-A-N-G, the Kang, and that's just what it is. And like I said, fine wine. He's getting better with time.
Here's the remarkable thing. LeBron James, like LeBron year 3, came in second in the MVP balloting, but I don't think people yet really considered he was the best player in the world. Either at that time people still thought it was Duncan, maybe some people thought it was Nash, Shaq was at the end, maybe Kobe at that moment. Starting with the 48 special in Detroit in 07, the playoffs in 07 is when LeBron James announced himself as, I'm the best player in the world right now.
Right.
And that was 11 years ago. He hasn't handed the figurative crown back since then. And you mentioned God's blessed him, so no doubt about it. 6'8", he talked about when he was coming out of high school with an NBA body, they didn't even lift much weights.
Right.
Now he obviously does lift weights now, but in high school he hadn't. But the level of attention to detail and the amount of money and time he spends on maintaining his body, because what we have seen with great players, we have seen great players have extended primes, and what happens? They suffer one injury, and even if they are able to recover from that injury, they're not able to recover from the time off due to the injury.
Right.
The 6 months of not being able to stay in your routine, and then injury begets injury. For LeBron to have played well over 50,000 minutes, to him going on his 8th consecutive, potentially 100-plus game season, and to never be hurt, to have never suffered any injury of note, part of that is just luck, blessing, and part of that is something he has worked towards, which has allowed him to maintain this level where he is, from an all-around offensive perspective, as good as he's ever been.
Yeah, LeBron is not one player, but he's like several players. The only way I can do it now is just based on the NFL. I would say
he has the body of Cam Newton. He still has the skill level of Aaron Rodgers, and he has the ability to dominate the game like Tom Brady. So, yes, those things are true. We have seen great athletes before with great bodies. God bless them. But did they have the tenacity to be able to grind it out every day? One of my favorite things about LeBron is to watch some of the videos that he does before the game, the amount of work that he takes putting into his body. Now, he's not a guy, because we've seen this in sports, guys who are just good looking. They look like they've been lifting weights. They're playing a sport, but it doesn't transfer over to greatness. So LeBron has embraced lifting weights. Most basketball players, I was raised in a basketball family. Right. Most basketball players do not believe in lifting any type of weights. It's going to throw off their shot. Not only did God give him the best body, but he also gave him the tenacity to realize, man, I need to take care of this. LeBron has addressed every weakness he had in his game since he's come into the NBA. He has gone outside of his circle of friends to get resources, to learn more about the game. And he's benefited from the new style that they have in the NBA, where you can't foul a guy. And it's not me complaining. It's no different than being in the NFL. These games are different now. The rules have adjusted, that the type of play is less physical than we've ever seen before. But you have to embrace his ability to improve his own game, for him to be critical of himself. And most great players don't do this. Most talented people don't do this. They only work on their strengths, don't work on their weaknesses. So it's hard to become a complete player. And that's what, to me, are the exceptional things about LeBron.
Cece, you just alluded to something, and you said in the beginning that there's one part of this I disagree with you guys on. I think LeBron's been hurt by this era. I think LeBron, what's the weakest part of LeBron's game? He's improved lately. The weakest part of his game is three-point shooting. We've never had...
part of his game is free throw shooting.
Okay, sure. It's 75% for his career. You'd like it to be 80%.
But that's the weakest part of his game, though.
Okay, sure. That's fine. But as far as the part of his game where the game has changed the most, I guess, is three-point shooting, right? That is not one of his absolute strengths, and it's never been more important. You add to that the idea that LeBron, who I think we agree is one of, if not the most physically gifted basketball players we've ever seen.
The best all-around player of all time.
No, but I'm just purely from a physicality standpoint, though. A more physical era would have suited him. Like maybe would have
not for injuries, though, Nick.
Not for injuries.
Like, this is an unprecedented run we have seen a great player go on. If you are playing in a more physical league, the probability of you getting hurt, it goes way, way up. So we're not talking about LeBron. We're not talking about him. Like,
he's talking about in general the health of the player.
The game, and it benefits him even more that he is that physical, playing in an era that's probably the least physical that we've ever seen.
Right.
So what he's been blessed with, he's taken advantage of playing in this era where it's very soft. We didn't say LeBron is such a great talent, and this is what you see. Take the last 50 years in any sport. You pick a guy that can play in any one of those years. That's what speaks to his greatness. Right. And LeBron could do that. He could be Oscar Robertson. He could be Magic Johnson. He could be Kobe Jordan. He's done all those things wrapped up in the greatest body we've ever seen.
And while he knows how good he is, not one day does he ever take off. We all have seen athletes who are able to just rest on the laurels of their talents, like a guy like Allen Iverson, who was so talented and could have been so much more talented if he practiced. There was this amazing Tiger Woods commercial, a Nike commercial that came out a couple years ago. The camera pans down, it's pouring rain outside, there's a really comfortable couch, there's cartoons on, and then you keep panning, and he's outside in the rain, practicing over and over. That's the same feeling you get with LeBron James, that every day there's another part of his game that he keeps wanting to work at, and his skills haven't let out since.
How much better can you get? You know, like, he's the best player in the world, and he still wants to get better. He still has that hunger for the game. He still works out harder than anybody. And like you say, basketball players don't lift weights. I know. I didn't start lifting weights after my career, and I fell in love with it. But LeBron, the way he works, it shows why he's so dominant, why he's been great for so long. You have to give him his props for that.
What do you just alluded to it just quickly here. What do you think it is, in your opinion, guy that's played against him for a long time, that keeps his hunger level where it is at year 15?
Well, Kawhi has the same thing. They want to be great. You know, I came into the NBA, I knew I had to find my way and my niche. I didn't come in the NBA trying to be Kobe, AI, or LeBron. That wasn't for me. I had to find my lane. My lane was come in, be a tough-nosed defender, play hard, and just be great at everything in the game. I did everything. So that was my lane, a great role player. You know, a protector for the stars on the team. That was my role, and I was a star in my role. You have to have guys like that. LeBron wants to be great. Kawhi wants to be great, and that's why they approach the game.
And I believe that the greatest athlete, God puts with that talent, the desire to separate yourself. LeBron has that. MJ had that. And that right there makes them one of the all-time greats ever.
Stephen, can we get him to the gym to start lifting some weights?
I'm
It's
good.
the one thing we need. Thank you so much for being
I'm going to
with
do it
us.
after my career, too.
Coming up.
just like action.
Great
Yeah.
play on forever. We'll discuss that with the creator of Tom vs. Time right here on set next on First.